Hello everybody, welcome to this fabulous celebration for the mentoring program for NAWO for 2025. It's fabulous to be here in front of such an enthusiastic in-person audience, and thank you to everybody online for joining us today as well. My name is Louise Ween, I am the CEO of NAWO, and it is my delight to be your MC for the proceedings today as we celebrate our mentors and our mentees for 2025. We are gathered today on the Eora Nation and the traditional lands of the Gadigal people, and I wish to pay my respects to elders past and present. As those of you who know me know, I love to do a little bit of learning as part of my acknowledgement at these formal gatherings, and today I focused on trying to learn something more about the rich culture of our First Nations peoples in regard to mentoring. And I came across this beautiful insight from this young Indigenous creative whose name is Marley. Marley has explained in this journal piece that I was reading that mentoring evolves for them as a journey of life's lessons, where knowledge is deliberately imparted when the timing is right, which I love. And I quote from Marley, "We don't have hard timelines. For us, knowledge and lessons are earned when the time is right. Mentorship is a journey of life's lessons for mentees, mentors, broader communities and country. It's not about the outcomes. It's the depth in connection. It's the way our communities have stayed connected for so long. We meet mob where they're at. Mentorship is never done. We are always learning and showing respect and support." And it occurs to me that this rich perspective of mentoring from Marley's perspective of it never being done is something that we can all reflect upon tonight as we celebrate the fabulous NAWO mentoring program and reframe this celebration not as the end of the program, but actually as the start of a journey of connection with each other, with our mentors, with our mentees, with the people that were in our circles. I would love to see that spirit that we've learnt about there continue in our ongoing connections in this program. So I am delighted now to also be able to pay my respect in person and introduce you to Yvonne Weldon, who is welcoming us all to country today. Thank you, Yvonne.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, all genders and identities. As I said, my name is Yvonne Weldon. I'm a Wiradjuri woman from Cowra here in New South Wales, from the waters of the Clare, which later became known as the Lachlan, and of the Murrumbidgee rivers. Unfortunately, where we're gathered, there aren't any people that have met legal requirements as yet to be regarded as traditional owners of these lands. But I am a representative of the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council, who are caretakers with cultural authority under the Aboriginal Land Rights Act. I would like to pay my respects to all elders past and present, to all First Nations, to you and the ancestors' lands that you've travelled from, are from, or are joining us online from. Across this beautiful continent of my people, there are hundreds of nations, tribes and clans existing here for over 65,000 years, representing the world's oldest continuously living culture. Our boundaries are determined by the Earth's natural landscapes. The boundaries of the Eora are the Hawkes River in the north, the Nepean in the west, and the Georges River in the south. On behalf of the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council, the elders and the members, I welcome everyone to the lands of the Gadigal. I acknowledge Gadigal people whose spirits and ancestors will always remain with this land, our Mother Earth. Aboriginal culture and our customs has a strong inclusion and importance of women leading and showing the way for all. In my life, I've been guided by many incredible Wiradjuri women. My late grandmothers, my aunties, Mum Shell, Pauline, Isabel and Betsy Coe, and of course my mum, Anne Weldon. Tonight I'm standing before many amazing women, and some of you other fellows that are here too are amazing as well. And it is a blessing. Being here has me reflecting about the 2018 NAWOx theme, which was, "Because of her, we can." It is important to acknowledge the women that give so much. We give endlessly because we believe in all. And it is right to honour. It is awe-inspiring, not just who you are because of what you offer others, but it's important to take pause and to remember. Let us reflect upon the many trailblazers in your life, their gifts of time, their gifts of belief, their gifts of sharing. Now recognise those same gifts given to you and what you now offer to all around you. I thank you for all that you do. As you connect, learn and share today, tomorrow and beyond, whether you lead yourself, your family, community or even your people, you often take on more than you realise. For me, any role taken on has not always been out the front leading, but whether you walk with those that need your strength and developing those around you too. If there are a few trinkets I could offer you, is to enjoy the highs and learn from the lows. There's always someone not happy with your achievements, but know that they can't take it from you. Be kind to yourself and even to those that aren't. For when you do, you'll always receive so much more. And I really need to hear that today because I've had a pretty full-on day. Continue to challenge, but take the time out for yourself as well. Alongside all the men and all genders in our lives, all of us together can bring about a positive future for everyone. To make that future possible, let us all draw upon my people's spirits as we continue on our journey. May my people's spirits walk with you and guide you as we strive forward for us all. Again, on behalf of the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council, Ninyini, Nala, Wongan, Mari, Bajari, Gadi, Nurda, welcome to Gadigal country. It is because of you we can. It is because of you we must. It is because of you we will. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. And I just wanted to take a moment to give the crowd an understanding of your incredible leadership background. Yvonne is an independent councillor with the first Aboriginal councillor in the City of Sydney's 180-year history. Born and raised in inner Sydney, but maintains strong ties to Wiradjuri homelands of Cowra and the Riverina areas of New South Wales. She has served as elected Chair of the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council, Deputy Chair of the New South Wales Australia Day Council, and as a board member of Domestic Violence New South Wales and Redfern Jarjun College. Yvonne follows in the footsteps of a proud tradition of activists and change makers. Her family were instrumental in establishing the Aboriginal Children's Service, Aboriginal Medical Service, and the Aboriginal Legal Service in Redfern. Wow, indeed. Yvonne was awarded the 2019 New South Wales Volunteer of the Year for South Sydney Region, and in 2022 was recognised as the New South Wales Aboriginal Woman of the Year and appointed a member of the Order of Australia for her service to the Aboriginal community. She also recently published her debut novel, 67 Days, which I've already said I'm sure it's available on Amazon, so we all need to get on and read this. And it's been a Queensland Literary Award, David Unipon Award winner prior to being published even. So congratulations. I mean, what an amazing leadership journey, and thank you for all that you do. We know that it can be difficult, but keep going. Yeah. Every year, we get to involve our member companies in this spectacular program that we call the NAWO Mentoring Program. And this year, we had 110 companies participate in the program, which is amazing. Now, I'd like to call out some companies that had the top number of participants in this year's program. Amazon, Qantas, Mineral Resources Australia, Fonterra, Bunnings, Orica, Bradken, CBH and Rio Tinto. Not only is Amazon one of those top participating companies in terms of the number of mentees and mentors that are involved, they also sponsor this event for us and make it possible. So thank you, Amazon. We are so grateful to Amazon for this additional support. We couldn't do it without them. And once again, it's been just such a brilliant team effort bringing this event to life. We all feel so professional with this production crew and everything that goes on behind the scenes. And to welcome us formally to this fantastic Amazon site today, we have Sharif Zaki, who is the site leader of BW2, the Amazon Robotics Fulfillment Centre here in Sydney. Now, this Sydney Amazon Centre, how many of you have seen it? How many got to come on the NAWO tour? It was unbelievable. What a site. Sharif oversees daily operations and performance at this site, ensuring best-in-class customer experience, safety and efficiency. And it's Amazon's largest operation in the Southern Hemisphere. So that's pretty amazing, Sharif. He has many years' experience in managing fulfillment operations with Amazon in different markets, including Egypt and the United Kingdom, where he led the launch and expansion of several ops sites and networks, implemented best practice and achieved operational excellence, as we all do in operations. So thank you, Sharif. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Louise. That was lovely. I don't know who helped you write that, but that was very nice. But yeah, welcome everyone. It's great to be here. NAWO members, mentors, mentees, fellow Amazonians. Like Louise mentioned, we recently had the pleasure of hosting NAWO members at our fulfillment center in Kemps Creek, which really was such a great success. So many people taking part. Really excited that we get to host you all here again today to celebrate another year of the NAWO mentoring program. And I think it's a real testament to our partnership. Amazon and NAWO have collaborated on many initiatives since we joined as both a NAWO corporate member and partners of the NAWO Mentor Network in 2022. We've worked together on a lot of events, site tours, the NAWO Impact video featuring Lydia that you're about to see, and of course, mentoring. The NAWO Mentoring Alumni Network, which started in 2023 in partnership with Amazon Australia, with the promise of a range of great benefits for our mentor community. And one of those is NAWOxTalks. And the NAWOxTalks initiative coaches members of the NAWO Mentoring Alumni Network to tell their stories with passion, purpose, and confidence, and gives them a platform to share those stories to an audience of their peers. The winner receives in-depth one-on-one support with a strategic speaking coach, Rachel West, and all finalists have the opportunity to develop their skills with persuasive presentations training from Sharon Ferrier. This year's finalists were Fiona Holland, Lena O'Hagan, Kayla Malpass, Tsunemi Massey, Stacey Lee Wallace, Isabella Warrington, Libby Williams, and Daniela Zingowski. I first want to say congratulations to all those finalists. And the winner of the opportunity this year is Lena O'Hagan, who's with us today. So Lena is a health and safety principal supporting green energy projects worldwide. Originally from a farm in Ireland and now based in Perth, she built her career through hands-on experience in high-risk mining operations and complex projects. Starting out in the Pilbara, Lena's work soon took her to more than 5 countries, including the DRC, Kenya, Namibia, South Africa, and Norway. Initially, at just 24, she was one of the few women on site and had to learn how to hold her ground. She also learned to build trust and guide teams through diverse cultural and operational contexts. A defining moment came when she transitioned into the emerging green energy sector, relocating to the DRC and expanding her global perspective. Lena is committed to creating inclusive workspaces. She has joined emergency response teams traditionally dominated by men, mentored women entering operations, and championed greater diversity on sites. She's passionate about advancing women in operations, and she's now preparing for her next step into management, focusing on leading with confidence, clarity, and impact. Lena participated in the NAWO mentoring program in 2023. Her mentor was Ricky Butler, Vice President of the Australia Pacific Metals at NAWO member company Orica. And she joins us this evening to share her perspectives on the power of mentoring. So please join me in congratulating Lena and welcoming her to the stage. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lena O'Hagan, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey so far. So early in my career, I thought that confidence was about knowing everything, speaking first, and being the loudest person in the room. Over the years, I've learned that it actually looks a lot different. And for me, it started with knowing what to stand for. At 24, I started my mining career. I was fresh from Ireland and extremely enthusiastic to be in the Pilbara in Western Australia. I was a health and safety support for fixed plant maintenance shutdown work, and I often found myself one of few women on site. So for context, fixed plant in the mining operations is a part of the process where the ore gets processed and we crush it from big rocks, more or less, into little rocks. And then we used to go in and fix some of the equipment. It was hot, dirty, long days, and mostly male-dominated. I was a woman new to industry, and I was just trying to do my job and fit in. One afternoon, one of the supervisors came into our shutdown office and said, "We've got another female joining us in a few days, so we're going to have to watch what we say." Everyone laughed politely, except for me. I just pretended to keep typing and think, did he actually just say that? And it made me realize that, well, I didn't challenge it at the time either, and it made me realize that sometimes when you don't address things, people assume that you're okay with what's being said. From that moment, it was clear in my head that I wouldn't compromise on respect, inclusion, and safety. As someone who often leads through influence rather than title, I found that sometimes what you choose not to say can set the culture just as much as what you do choose to say. Sometimes silence says more than what we realize. So a decade later, I was still in the Pilbara. Red dirt roads, big blue skies, and still the same blistering Pilbara heat, if anyone's had to experience it before. And then one ordinary day, I got a phone call. "Lena, we've got an opportunity for you. It's in Africa." When he said the DRC, aka the Democratic Republic of Congo, I'll be honest, I had to look at a map. And then I hesitated. I was doing work that I loved. I was in a role as a health and safety acting superintendent. I had a clear path. I knew what my next steps were going to be. And this would mean a full change, stepping into the unknown, into a fully new environment as well. So I reached for what I call my crayon box, a mix of mentors and colleagues that I can lean on for a different perspective. Some had worked overseas before, some in Africa, and some just understood how I worked and would know if I would be ready for it. And I wasn't looking for them to say yes or no. I was trying to understand myself if I was going to be ready to step into the unknown and how I could be ready to do that. So I did everything in my control to prepare. I asked all the questions, and I do like to ask a lot of questions. The conversations, systems, and mindset. And that planning gave me the reassurance, not that it would be easy, but that I could handle what was coming next. Once I arrived, the preparation paid off. It allowed me to adapt, to stay curious, and to keep learning along the way. So when I first got to Africa, we were just beginning to build our footprint there, and it was a world away from the Pilbara. In Australia, on site, risks are pretty well understood and managed, apart from the odd deadly brown snake here or there. In the Congo, we were dealing with hippos in the river, boats made from old oil drums with plastic chairs taped to it, and they had deadly snakes as well, but black adders and puff adders and the black mamba. And as much as the DRC is an extremely rich country in resources, it's sadly 80% of the country lives without electricity. So at the beginning, I was health and safety support for just one country. And then we quickly grew our footprint. And I was working with people spread across the continent. And that included having 2 direct reports on either side of the continent. One was based in Kinshasa, the main city in DRC, and the other one was based in Nairobi in Kenya. And there you've got different time zones, different languages, different systems, infrastructure, etc. In Kinshasa, they speak French, and Lingala is the dialect in that area. And thankfully, my report also spoke English, because my French isn't very good. And then in Nairobi, they speak English and Swahili, amongst their own dialects as well. And I did a lot of that support remotely from Australia. When I say crikey in my best Australian accent, did I mess it up or felt like I messed it up sometimes? I really felt that. I found that I wasn't clear enough on expectations. I assumed what made sense here in Australia would make sense over there, but it didn't. Again, different cultures, different systems, and different ideas on what safe looked like. I was assisting the local team in the DRC once prepare for a field trip to Inga. And this is a small township, like quite far away from Kinshasa, the main city, and it's also home to some of the fastest rapids in the world. But also there's very limited medical infrastructure there, little to none. And even in Kinshasa, the medical support there is sometimes not up to Western standards also. So when looking through the plan and seeing if they'd included medical support, they hadn't. And someone on the team said, oh, I've been to this area loads of times and I've never needed it and it's really expensive. So we talked through it. We explained what mattered, what could happen, and what we could do. And in the end, the team did the trip safely with their medical support, and we had a mutual understanding. And it just shows that you can hold your principles strong, but sometimes we need to flex our methods on how we get there. So over the past few years, work has evolved a lot. My role has shifted, new teams, new projects, and new ways of doing things. And over that time, I've had some really incredible leaders, but no more than my current leader, James, who has made the biggest impact for me. Not through big titles or speeches, but through consistent behaviors. He takes the time to learn how people think, what they're good at, their strengths, sets clear outcomes, and trusts people to make calls. And for me, that's been extremely huge, especially dealing with my own neurodiversity. When James asked me once to first help with, he asked me to lead a project for our department that would affect quite a few departments, and it was the development of our international contractor management framework. And I won't swear here, but I said, I don't think I can do that. I think somebody else should. At the time, I didn't feel good enough that I could do it. And it wasn't that I didn't want to do it. I just didn't want to mess it up. But I did know how to do it, and I was just nervous that I would fail. But he said, you'll have scope, milestones, and support, and make it yours. And with that, trust made me step up, and I delivered. His approach has really helped me develop myself personally. Previously, I would be really nervous if I had to give tough feedback or push back on things. And now I trust my own judgment. I don't need to go to him with things. And he's taught us that to come with solutions and not problems. And that shift has really made me feel a sense of ownership and control over my own work. I've been able to learn from James's coaching style and support others the same way. So if you find yourself with your team ever saying, just have a bit more confidence, remember that confidence isn't fixed. It's built through experience, preparation, and action. Preparation and curiosity is what helps us move through the unknown. And clarity and accountability is what helps us lead across difference. And silence sends a message, so know what you stand for and take action when it matters. Hold your principles strong, but be flexible with your methods. They don't need to have everything lined up. With your support and steady encouragement, they'll believe that they can do it. Thank you very much.
Well done, well done, well done. You can breathe now. Breathe, breathe. That was sensational. It is hard to do a NAWOxTalk, and it's a big project, and you've been working hard with Rachel West for how long now? When did you start working on this together?
About 6 weeks. Yeah.
So tell us, how does it feel to have done it and to have prepared for the NAWOxTalk?
It's definitely been a journey. I've learned a lot even about myself along the way. I thought it would, telling a story would be easy, but it's to make it an impactful story is a big difference. And it's been really good.
Yeah,
phenomenal. Yeah,
no, it's nerve-wracking. So everybody, give her another round of applause because it's massive. Well, thank you so much, Lena. I'm so pleased that you were able to fly all the way from WA to do this NAWOxTalks with us. You're a very deserving winner of the award, and I hope you take these skills with you into the future with your operational career. You've had a brilliant career so far and so much to go. So, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Take it forward.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. So from one brilliant operations woman to another number of them in our NAWO Impact film now, which, hands up if you have seen the NAWO Impact film. A few. Thank you. Well, that's great. So I'm glad we're showing it today then, though, for everybody who has to see it, because it is beautiful. It is beautiful. And yes, operations is beautiful. And this film will absolutely prove that to you. We produced this, my team produced this, the fabulous Fiona Evans from my team, a professional production crew that was sponsored by Amazon, and the companies Amazon, BlueScope and Shep participated to bring this film to life. It's an amazing way to explain the impact that NAWO has, and I wish to just give a big shout out to Lydia Averill, who is in the crowd today, who features. Again, it's not an easy thing to do when you have when you're put on the spot with a production crew in situ, in production settings, and you're walking around and trying to keep to the script and do all the things and say all the right things. But we had Lydia joined by Carmini Wijikula Surya from BlueScope, and also Chep's Terry Massey. So please enjoy the film.
I am the only one of my kind in Australia, which presents different challenges. I want to be able to connect with like-minded individuals that share the same aspirations as I do.
When I joined CHEP, it was a new role, it was a new industry. It was good to know that there was another support network available to me that weren't just within the company that I'd joined.
A network of like-minded females in an industry that is challenging and rewarding. NAWO also gives you the opportunity to diversify one's thinking in terms of the industries out there and also to find common ground.
At times, seeking that fresh perspective is really important. Being able to hear other people's stories as well as being able to provide my story helps me feel empowered, knowing that I can inspire other female leaders and knowing that I've been able to do that through the connection of NAWO.
So through the partnership we have with NAWO, we looked at attracting more women and really start building that pipeline for women in operations.
As a senior female leader, I have a duty to make sure that I'm representing diversity in my workplace as it ignites innovation.
One of the big learnings from NAWO and probably being part of the committee is looking for examples of how we could make a difference.
Gives a real sense of pride to see that other people might see what we've done and then decide that they can also be inspired to do something differently, and just being able to ask those questions that you can't normally ask. From such a diverse range of industries and in very different roles as well, that's been really interesting to see how their journeys and their careers are then being shaped by being brave or being bold or trusting themselves to make that change.
Being able to connect with others in other operation logistic businesses on where they are, what they're doing, sharing the best practice.
And just hearing some of the challenges and what they're facing as a business, it was very similar to what we were going through at the time.
NAWO is being able to facilitate a discussion more prevalent than ever across the whole of Australia now.
I've enjoyed every event I've been to and I've enjoyed being part of NAWO, so I want to pass that on and bring the younger generation through.
Through mentorship, through workshops, webinars, panel discussions, I've been able to learn off others as well as being able to provide my value too. By transforming an industry that historically has been male majority to an industry where women feel empowered and women now have a network of female support.
I always feel so amazing at the end of that. And when you get a chance, when we're socialising afterwards, ask Fiona to tell you her story about how she got back from Wollongong when she did the filming for that. It's a great one. But I'm sure you will all agree with me how that captures the essence of what it is that we're looking to do here at NAWO. NAWO accelerates us towards better gender balance across all of the operational industries in Australia by connecting businesses and leaders to one another to find solutions, systemic and behavioural, so that we can have the best cultures we possibly can to attract, retain and promote more women in operations. I am very pleased to report that collectively, through our brilliant NAWO network of over 100 businesses, when you take all the subsidiaries into account, the overall collective representation of women in our network is at 40% and 29% in head of business roles across the network. So that deserves a little bit of a... and that's well ahead of average across all of the industries that we draw the NAWO membership from. So manufacturing, mining, logistics, transport, warehousing, they're sitting at about 26% female representation and 20% head of business. So it does matter. Bringing businesses together that are committed to this, it works, and we know the power of it. So we are excited to be growing, we're excited to be doing great work and having an impact on what is something that can contribute hugely to the Australian economy. So, yeah, I reckon a huge round of applause for that again, just to get excited. Okay, so back to celebrating mentoring. And a mentor is somebody who does not walk in front of you and tell you what they've done, but walks alongside you and shows you what you can do. And the mentors that come into the NAWO community are just incredible. And every year I am astounded by the goodwill of people that come forward as volunteers to mentor people that they do not know. They trust in the NAWO team to connect them with people in other businesses, and they do this in the spirit of helping people grow their careers and develop. And I think that that is an immense value proposition in itself, that we have people in this network who are so giving of their time. We want to obviously celebrate these mentors, and the other part of our program actually that we've introduced is Gender Equity Men. We've had some fantastic mentors who have come on a bit of a journey with us experimenting and piloting this new stream of the mentoring program. Gender Equity Men is all about allyship. It's about men delving deeper into why we have a gender inequality issue in Australia, where it stems from, why it exists and what it drives. Particularly, we partner with Our Watch, and so we particularly get this great understanding of the drivers of gender inequality and what that leads to, such as domestic violence, unfortunately, and workplace gendered violence and harassment. And it really helps men connect with what they can do as allies in the workplace to actually make a real difference. So we're excited about that program, and I'll talk about that a bit more later on when I let you know when the registration's open. So celebrating all these fabulous mentors, each and every one of you, and to all of you online as well. I know there's so many mentors joining us online. I know that you have invested of yourselves, you've invested the time, the energy, and most of all, given vulnerably of your experiences. There were 127 of you in 2025, and you mentored 237 mentees across this amazing network. So please join me, everybody, in thanking our mentors for 2025. And of course, so many of our mentors, I'm very pleased to say, come back year after year, which is also exceptional. And Conor O'Malley was one of these mentors. Conor volunteered his time in the NAWO mentoring program for 5 years, back to back. He positively impacted the lives and careers of, I would guess, hundreds of people, if not thousands. I think he was just so giving. Through his mentoring with us, but his coaching practice as well, his executive coaching. He described himself as the executive caddy. He loved golf, and that was his big thing. He will continue to influence people through the words that are contained in his beautiful book called Trust Begins and Ends with Self. And personally, Conor was a great strategic mentor to me. He believed in NAWO, and I'm getting quite emotional thinking about him again, because he really did believe in what we were doing and contributed so well to what we were doing as well. I find myself so often asking myself, for the sake of what, which was one of his favourite little sayings, and we just lost him far too soon. So in Conor's memory and in recognition of his dedicated voluntary service to NAWO, we have this award dedicated in his name, and it's the 3rd year that we have awarded this very special award. In 2023, we had Belinda Bright, who's the Head of Engineering and Technical Support for Sydney Water, as our winner. And in 2024, the fabulous Jacob Creighton, who's here with us tonight, was our winner, and he's the Chief Technology and Innovation Officer for Opal. So thank you for being here as well. Our criteria, basically finalists for this award need to be nominated by their mentees. So thank you to all the mentees who did nominate. It does take time, and we've loved reading all of the beautiful testimonials and the feedback. It's been amazing. To our finalists, congratulations. You have all made such a positive contribution, and I just want to recognise you all for the amazing job you have done. Obviously, to have your mentees nominate you for this award, you have made a huge difference, and I thank you so much for that. So Narim Dagudovic from Asahi, Rebecca O'Sullivan from Aurora, Elliot Scott from Coles, Alison Stevens, Australia Post, Greg Souza from Synchronous Consulting, Samantha Couch, Optima Solutions, Donna Neo, Mineral Resources, and Kylie Jones from Arista. Congratulations on being nominated. So, with all that emotion that is running through my veins, it gives me great pleasure to announce the winners, plural, for this year. Yes, we have 2 winners because it was impossible at the end of the day to separate the 2 that stood out to us. They are both mentors who have mentored for NAWO multiple times. And so I have huge, excited congratulations for Greg Souza and Kylie Jones, joint winners. Joint winners. Greg, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done. Thank you. There's your beautiful award. We're very proud of the look and feel of the
Great.
award as well. It's, yes, it'll look great as, I can just see it on your shelf, paperweight, whatever. But congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Really grateful to you for your work. And we are going to have a chat with these mentors in a minute, so please take your
Take a seat.
designated seat. Thank you. Kylie, oh, I've got to get your award. Oh, thank you, myself.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Get it around the right way. There we go. Beautiful. So, let me introduce these wonderful mentors to you formally, properly, and then I'm going to have a good old Lou fireside chat, because you all know how much I love having a chat with people. It's my favourite thing to do. So, Kylie, first off. Kylie is a people-focused operations leader with 25 plus years experience in FMCG. Just noting the 25 years plus, that's where mine stopped after that. We don't put any more years on that yet.
That's enough.
Yep. Kylie drives change through coaching and mentoring and is passionate about diversity and inclusion, supporting women in operations and women in STEM. After roles at Diageo, Kimberly-Clark, ITW and Tassal, Kylie is now the Senior Site General Manager at Arista. Have I pronounced
Arista, yeah.
Arista.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, Arista do make the buns and muffins for McDonald's. So next time you're enjoying one of those, think of Kylie.
Yeah.
Kylie's been named an Australian Superstar of STEM and has been a Women in Industry Awards finalist for Mentor of the Year as well. Kylie's been a long-time supporter of NAWO, a really loyal and dedicated volunteer to us. She is a co-chair of the New South Wales Committee, just about to step down, or I guess I have to say now and accept that you stepped down.
Yeah.
Yes, just dedicated volunteer to NAWO. So thank you, Kylie,
Thank you.
and
That's
congratulations again.
Thank you.
Oh, and I do have to mention who she's been nominated by, Stacey Lee Wallace, who's here today and has travelled from Gladstone in Queensland to be here, which is an enormous effort. So I just want to give a shout out to you.
Thank you.
And to other members of Kylie's mentoring team. So Ricky is also here. Ricky?
Yeah.
Ricky, lovely to see you. Well done. You've also made the effort of coming up from rainy Melbourne to be in Sydney, so well done. And I believe you're also here with another mentee from, yes, well done, Christy, well done. So lovely to have you all here. So there you go, Kylie. Now, Greg. Greg is a purpose-driven supply chain leader who transforms complexity into sustainable growth, empowering teams and delivering lasting impact for businesses, customers and the environment. He has held senior roles at Amcor as Operations and Supply Chain Director and at Coles as the Head of Supply Chain. And we all know what a massive job both of those jobs would have been. A vocal advocate for gender equity in operations, Greg has been a mentor with NAWO since 2021 and has already put his hand up for 2026. Thank you, Greg. And Greg was nominated by Shamila Ranjitharupan. I don't know if Shamila's joining us maybe online tonight, but I really gratefully thank you for nominating Greg for the prize, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Lou.
So first up, I just want to give you both a moment to reflect on what the award means to you and also what mentoring means to both of you. So Kylie, over to you first.
Yeah, so I'm absolutely thrilled to receive the award, and thank you, Stacey, for the nomination. Also, more broadly, thank you to my mentees. They were absolutely amazing. So the thing that I love is the energy that comes out of the mentoring group, and sometimes I say I think I get more out of it than they do. But yeah, love the energy and really love being part of people's development. I think I've been lucky enough to have mentors and sponsors throughout my career that have really made a difference, and I think I'm now at a point in my career where I can give back, and if I can help people have the kind of career that I've had, I love my job. Really happy to do that. Also just wanted to say, Lou, while you're here, really wanted to thank the NAWO team. I know that there's a lot of effort that goes into the program, and just even talking to some of the people here tonight, talking about the resources, how well matched everyone feels. I know there's a lot that goes into that, so I just wanted to say thank you, because all the mentees and mentors really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks, Kylie. That's lovely.
Absolutely. For me, I think the first thing for me was surprise, and then a bit of I suppose I'm honoured to be to have received the award. Certainly, it's you don't mentor for the recognition. It's all about being part of that journey, the growth and the connection that you get with your mentees, and that's why I do it. Yeah. I think. Secondly, for me, I'm humbled. You spoke a bit about Conor earlier, and it's a brought tear to my eye as well. I had the privilege of working closely with Conor at Coles, and he was a really genuine, authentic leader, someone who really cared about his team's well-being as well as their development. One of the things Conor kind of taught me was the mark of a leader isn't about how many people that you lead. It's about how many you lift up to their full potential. And certainly having been a mentor for a few years, if I've done a little bit of that, then I count myself as lucky to have lived a little bit in Conor's footsteps behind him.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Greg. Thank you so much for that, because yes, very special person, and I think that you are doing exactly what he would have said is what we need leaders to do, and that is lift each other up. So thank you so much. Congratulations again. My first question to you, Kylie, is from both sides of the relationship, what makes a mentor-mentee partnership truly effective?
Yeah, look, I think that's a really great question. I think for me, it starts right at the very beginning of that relationship. So I think it's really critical to have a really good conversation about why you're mentoring and why you're both there, and then agree on what you want to achieve from that and what the outcomes are. So in my mentoring circle, our very first session really focused on that. But I think in addition to that, it's a big time commitment, not just from mentees, but from mentors, but also from mentees as well. And I think we really should respect that. So we had some really good ground rules that we put in place for our discussions. So we all agreed that we would come prepared for our sessions to get the most out of them. And I think really putting that framework in up front really helped. But I also think, you can't just stick to that framework all the time. Sometimes you need to be a bit flexible. And I have to say, we had a really chatty group. So sometimes there would be conversations that would come up, and they really resonated with everyone, really resonated. And even if they were slightly off topic, sometimes it's beneficial just to dig down and have those conversations. So I think have the structure, but be flexible to go where you need to in that conversation. And I think lastly, one of the key things for me is, I've participated a few times now, but one of the things that often comes up is people are really focused on their development and where they see there's deficiencies. But sometimes I think you can get so much more out of focusing on your strengths. It might take you just a little bit, but you can absolutely nail it without as much effort, maybe as a thing that you find really hard. And so one of the key things to me is really focusing on strengths and not just looking at all those areas where we think that we're falling short.
That's amazing advice, and I love the fact that you've been able to be a bit more organic with your group and go where they need to. It's a bit like that learning from Marley, that, give me what I need when I need it, and it's harder to do in a group because everybody has their needs, but I love that. Thank you. Greg, what responsibilities does each person have to ensure this kind of success in your view from, the mentor and the mentee perspective?
Mentor and mentee. Certainly, I think good mentoring doesn't happen by accident. It's got to be a purposeful activity on both sides. You need to approach it with a degree of curiosity on both sides, where you're looking to, and particularly as a mentor, you're looking to understand before providing the advice. It's really important that as a mentor, you need to understand the underlying issues and where the motivations are coming from in order to then really be able to have pointed conversations and pointed advice. So I think listening is absolutely probably the first thing. The second thing I'd say from a mentor point of view is really about challenge. It was interesting to listen to Yvonne talking about challenging and the fact that you need to be challenged in order to grow. And that ability to challenge someone, your mentee, is really important to be able to get that. I think the other part which I'd say from a mentor, don't just share the good news. There's plenty of failures that as I certainly have had over my time, and it's those failures that actually shape who you are and the learnings you've taken from them. So don't try to sugarcoat it too much. Have reflect back on your experiences. From a mentee point of view. Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but it's perhaps it's a little bit easier as a mentee in terms of you're there to really lean into the conversation, right? Be prepared would be the key thing for me. I tend to always give my mentees a little bit of homework and a bit of research to do before we meet, and it really shows when they lean in. Like Shamila was awesome at that. We would then have really productive conversations around some of the key points. And I think the other part for me, really be open to new experiences, and you only learn by actually doing. So take away from the sessions and make sure that you've got an action point of what you're going to do different between each of the sessions. I was talking to Kylie earlier about how you don't get to see people very often, right? It's a month apart. So it's fantastic when you come back and you go, oh, here's how I've put in place some of the things that we discussed last time.
Yeah, so rewarding when you see people try, even if they do maybe muck it up the first time or not quite get what they want, but to actually be out activating
100%.
the back of your conversations. That's terrific. Okay, can you share a specific moment, Kylie, where a mentor or sponsor made a tangible difference to you in your career?
Yes, I can definitely do that. So I did mention earlier I have been lucky enough to have mentors and sponsors throughout my career. I think one of those was the site manager for Huggies nappies. So I spent a long period of my career designing Huggies nappies. So product development, really, really love it. And my favourite part of that job was actually doing trials on the line. Like, I loved being out on the production line. And so one day the production manager came to me and asked, would you like to have a go at running one of these lines? And I said, yes, but I'm not an engineer. Like, I can't do that. And he said to me, I'm after a people person. And so I thought about it, and it was something that I really wanted to do. And so after a number of conversations, and I'm sure he had to have quite a few in the background to get me into that role, because there were some firsts in that. I was the first female line leader that they'd ever had, but also the first person who didn't have a strong equipment background. But I took the job. I absolutely loved it. It probably goes down as one of my favourite jobs in all my career. And we did some amazing things with that team, and it absolutely shaped my career path, because after that I've stuck in manufacturing. I've worked in a lot of different industries now, as you heard, but all of them manufacturing based. So I really think that someone actually thought to think outside the box a little and take a chance on someone who wasn't the usual mould for that job, because I think without that I probably, I like product development, but I love manufacturing, and I think without that I probably wouldn't have changed my career path.
And that's allyship as well, isn't it? Yeah. It is really, because there would have been doubters, I'm sure.
Yeah. I would have doubted me too. And I have some great failure stories early on to share.
Other engineers even who thought, hang on a minute, what's happening here? Had my eye on that job. But this is what we love, these stories at NAWO, because we want to have more women coming from different parts of the business and thinking about going into the operational side of the business, even if it looks a bit scary at first. It is fun. It is great fun. Greg, what have you personally gained from the mentoring experience with NAWO, and how has mentoring others impacted your leadership style overall?
Certainly for me, I found that it's forced me to slow down. So I'm naturally quite an action-oriented person who tends to jump in first. And what it's taught me is to listen and to understand before acting. So I've been able to take the time to try and, exactly as I was explaining earlier, really understand what's going on below the surface. So it's not just what you first hear, it's actually what comes in after that. And being able to, that's been a skill that I've really learned and practiced through the mentoring. That's then helped me to be a better leader to my team. I've certainly found I now put some of those things that I've learned through mentoring over the years to use across every day when I'm working across my team. So overall, I think it's made me a better listener. It's made me a better leader, and probably a better human as well.
Fantastic. Kylie, if somebody feels they lack access to networks or senior leaders to really build meaningful mentoring and sponsorship relationships, what's your advice to them?
Yeah, so I think firstly, going back to my earlier point, I think it really helps to be clear on why you want to be mentored and what you're looking for, because that will really help direct you to understand the people that you want to meet and actually, broaden your network. And then I think once you're really clear on that, you can attend things like NAWO events, like look at, different industries and go out and meet people outside of your business. But I think it's also really important to talk to people. So talk to the people in your business and let them know that that's something that you're really keen to do. And then also don't underestimate how much people are willing to help you if you only ask. So I think, talk to people that you know who know someone that you really want to talk to, and have a conversation and ask for an introduction. I've absolutely been the beneficiary of that multiple times through my career. And I've also been the person that's happy to have a conversation with someone. And then I think when you find someone who you think could be a really good mentor or sponsor, and we actually had this in our mentoring circle, someone really wanted to have a particular sponsor, and we spoke about that. And honestly, I think if you go and ask someone, people are thrilled. Like, and honestly, like, it's an amazing conversation. It's like, oh, you think that I'm amazing enough that you want me to spend time with you and share my experiences. Like, who's going to say no to that? But I think, you know, the key is once you find someone, don't be afraid to ask. It can be really daunting thinking that someone might not want to have that conversation with you, but I think you'd be surprised that people are.
And well done to the people in your circle who stepped up and found their sponsors. That was big and a great experience. Yeah. For those that registered as mentors, Greg, in 2026, what's your best piece of advice for them?
Best piece of advice. First of all, congratulations. You're absolutely in for a fantastic journey, right? And I think to echo a bit of what Kylie was saying, the NAWO program really provides that structure, which really helps you to deliver, and being able to follow that little bit of the structure and the formula that goes in. It's a program which is really well designed to support the mentors. So strap in, you're going to have a great time with it. The first thing I'd say. In terms of advice, I think there's a piece around how do you really make sure that you're providing the challenge in the conversation. So a little bit of that chill in the conversation to really make it pointed. It's great to have pleasantries and to be everyone's accommodating. But actually, what you really need to get to at the end of the day is get to a point where there's something that the mentee hasn't thought of at that point in time, right? And it provides that impetus for change, and therefore it's really important. And in order to get there, you need to be capable of having that deep thought and reflection when you're listening to what's happening, to really be able to give that really targeted advice. I think there's that piece around the challenge. There comes a point where the mentee will need a level of courage to go out and do the next step. Right? Nothing is easy. You don't progress without taking a little bit of a risk. And so I think advice to the mentors is share a little bit of that vulnerability. Yeah. You don't get it right. You certainly don't get it right the first time. And we've all been there. So demonstrating that little vulnerability, being able to put your arm around them virtually on a call to kind of go, it's okay. This is what happens, and let's dust off and go again. And what have we learned from that process? It's not a perfect science. It's as much an art as it is a science. So well, I'd say to the mentors, enjoy it, and it's a fantastic experience.
Yeah, terrific. Thank you both. Congratulations again. You're both amazing. You're joining this amazing Hall of Fame for NAWO, so I really appreciate it, and thanks for all that you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay, crew. Well, we're at the end of the formal proceedings. So thank you for celebrating with us in person tonight and online. Can I urge you all to stay connected to NAWO? Please make sure you're getting our communications. Check us out on LinkedIn. If email's not your thing, we're on LinkedIn and Instagram. You can see everything that's going on. It is huge. There's so much on offer. And particularly as far as the mentoring program is concerned, we very much are closing. We've closed registrations, but I noticed that there's a few sneaking still in. But registrations have closed for the mentoring program. But we still have the Gender Equity Men program opening up for registrations in December. So I do want to give that a big shout out. If you would, or a colleague you believe would love to be involved in that, it is a safe space for men to really get to understand the gender equality scenarios in this wonderful country of ours, understand why it all is the way it is, and figure out what they can actually do about it in their workplaces in their sporting clubs, in their homes. It is quite a powerful thing. And the men that come and do this with us love it. So please speak highly of NAWO and encourage people to get involved. I wish to pay a huge thanks to my team, particularly Madeline Cooper, Fiona Evans, our fabulous new mentoring program manager, Liz Morrow-Foley, Renee Birkinshaw, who is here today with us as well, up the back there, thank you. And of course, everybody back in Melbourne, Sharon and Annalisa as well. To the brilliant production team from Amazon, Marcel and your team, you are awesome. And to Sharif and Lydia, particularly, you've just been amazing at just advocating for NAWO throughout Amazon. We really appreciate that. But the whole Amazon team have been exceptional. So thank you, everybody from Amazon. Rachel West and Sharon Ferrier, who have done the coaching for our winners of our NAWOxTalks and the presentation skills, thank you very much. And Emily Ryan, a special shout out to you for doing our slide management at short notice today. And all our committee members who are here, I want to give you a big shout out. So we have Lynn, Linda, Kirsten, Ling, Wayne, Michelle and Fleur all here representing the committee, and I thank you so much. And we did mention that Kylie Jones and Abby Phillips are stepping down. I'm coming to terms with it now. And I'm coming to terms with it now because we have two fabulous leaders who have put their hand up to co-chair the New South Wales State Committee. Kirsten Reblin. And Emily Ryan, who's in the control room somewhere. So thank you both for stepping up and doing that very important leadership role for us here in New South Wales. We really appreciate it. With that, I farewell our online audience. Thank you for being with us. And then